Have you ever felt angry when someone disrespected you? When someone's careless words stayed with you all day? Maybe it was a coworker taking credit for your effort. Maybe a friend who mocked you when you were honest. Or maybe someone ignored you and your mood shattered. We often believe they are the problem, that their words or silence control us. But the truth is simpler and harder. No one can disturb your peace unless you hand it to them. This story is about a man who used to give away his peace every single day, until one meeting changed everything. His name was Ethan, and perhaps his story is also yours.
Ethan lived in a small European town nestled between green hills and stone streets. He owned a modest little shop, wooden shelves filled with fruit, spices, and the quiet smell of hard work. He was known to be honest and respected by most, but under that respect, everyone knew his weakness, his temper. When customers argued, he raised his voice. When the rain soaked his cart, he cursed the sky. Even when things went right, he found something wrong. Peace to him was something the world refused to give. His wife, Clara, often asked, "Why must you battle the world every day?" And Ethan would answer, "Because the world keeps fighting with me." He never noticed the war wasn't outside, it was inside him. One spring morning, a traveler arrived in town. An old man with silver hair and eyes that carried the calm of 1,000 sunsets. He had no money, no luggage, only a notebook and a quiet smile. He sat by the fountain in the square, sketching waves and writing in silence. Children played near him, birds rested at his feet. Some people mocked him, others whispered, he was a wise man. But one thing was certain, whoever spoke with him left lighter, quieter, somehow changed. Clara heard of him and told Ethan, "Go see him, perhaps you'll find what you've been missing." Ethan laughed it off. "What can a man with a notebook teach me about real life?" But that night, something happened that broke his pride. The day had been long. A customer came in and accused Ethan of cheating him on the price. Ethan, furious, shouted until the man stormed off, leaving without paying. The shop went quiet again, but the silence burned worse than the noise. His chest ached, his mind replayed every word of the argument. By midnight, he was exhausted, not from work, but from his own anger. When dawn painted the town pale gold, Ethan finally decided he would meet the traveler. Ethan found the old man sitting by the fountain again. He stood there for a moment, unsure of what to say. Finally, he spoke softly. "Sir, I'm tired. People make me angry. I can't control it." The traveler lifted his gaze, smiled gently, and handed Ethan a small candle. "Hold this carefully," he said. "Walk once around the marketplace and return, without letting the flame go out." Ethan frowned, but obeyed. And what happened next would stay with him forever. The streets were crowded, children playing, merchants calling, laughter echoing through the square. Ethan moved slowly through it all, protecting the little flame cupped between his hands. People stared. Some mocked him. Some called out his name. He wanted to respond, to defend himself, but he didn't. His eyes stayed fixed on the candle. When he finally returned, the traveler asked, "Did you hear them laugh?" Ethan nodded. "Did you stop to argue?" He shook his head. The traveler smiled. When you protect your light, the noise around you loses its power. And in that single moment, something inside Ethan grew quiet.
The traveler continued. People's words are like the wind that stirs the dust. If you chase every cloud of dust, you'll never see clearly. But if you stay focused, the dust settles by itself. Ethan stood there speechless. For years he had been chasing dust, letting every insult, every mistake, every misunderstanding turn his calm into chaos. That morning, he walked back to his shop not as the same man, but as someone who had seen the mirror of his mind for the first time.
The next day, Ethan's helper dropped a basket of apples. The crash echoed through the shop. Ethan turned, ready to explode. But then he remembered the candle. He took a deep breath and said quietly, "It's fine. Be careful next time." When a friend teased him at the cafe, he smiled and said, "Maybe you're right," and let the moment pass. It wasn't easy. His anger tried to return like a shadow clinging to him. But each time he chose to protect the flame. And slowly, something began to change. The town that once saw him as harsh now saw calm in his eyes. People said, "Ethan has changed." But the truth was simpler. Ethan had found himself.
Weeks later, Ethan went back to the fountain. The old traveler was still there, sketching waves as before. Ethan bowed his head slightly and said, "I understand now. Peace isn't silence outside, it's clarity inside." The traveler smiled. When you stop reacting, you start choosing. And when you start choosing, you start winning. Ethan asked, "But what if people keep testing me?" The old man looked at the water and said, "They will, until you no longer react. When fire finds no fuel, it dies on its own." Ethan never forgot those words.
Years passed. Ethan became known as the calmest man in town. When someone was upset, they came to him for peace. He never gave advice with pride, only with warmth. He would tell them, "Don't waste your strength reacting to every sound. The calmer you stay, the more control you hold." One afternoon, a young boy asked, "Sir, don't people make you angry anymore?" Ethan smiled softly. "They try," he said, "but I guard my peace like this candle, and I never let the wind blow it out." He looked toward the sunset, its golden light touching the rooftops, the same rooftops that once echoed with his anger. Now they reflected peace. We cannot stop the storms of life. We cannot control the wind or the words of others. But we can always choose how we respond. Every reaction is a choice. Every calm moment is strength, and the one who guards his peace becomes unstoppable.